Shouts to everybody in the chat. They already know what I'm saying. I still don't consider City a big club, just a rich club. That might be one of the craziest things said in this chat in a very long time. Barry Aguna said, Bay Area Aguna, who's my homie, he says, I still don't consider City a big club. They just a rich club.
You smoking crack, man.
That might be
that's crazy.
One of the wildest, most egregious things said in this chat.
That's OD.
Do they have a problem filling the stands? Possibly. Possibly. But for the last 4 or 5 years, when you are 40% of the teams picked in FIFA across the world, you a big club.
Come on, bro. They're a huge club.
Huge
club.
They just signed Erling Haaland.
Don't do that.
Who secretly was a City fan since he was a child.
Yeah, they're a big club. That's crazy. I appreciate the effort though, but that was a crazy take.
City purchase prestige. Here's the thing. Let's talk about this because now we in this conversation.
Yeah.
Did they purchase prestige? I would argue they did it the right way. They have now got a network of 13 clubs across the world that all are developing incredible players, which aren't just for the English or the Qatari national team. They're for every national team now. They've got players that they've developed across a myriad of clubs. At the end of the day, you got to sit back and go, they may have revolutionized the sport. Where did the money come from to do that? I'm not going to sit here and say. Part of it is because they pay my bills. Thank you, NYCFC. But the other part is, I'm dead ass. Even if I wasn't working for NYCFC, I say this. At some point, we got to sit back and say, like, yo, they kind of revolutionized the way the sport is managed on a bird's eye view. They've got clubs all over the world filtering talent up to them.
Yeah.
That's kind of a beautiful thing.
But what do you guys expect? If you have the money, what are you gonna do? You're gonna keep your club the same exact way that it's been forever? No, you're gonna buy the biggest players. You're gonna create the system to where you can consistently win. Like, people are mad at City because they got money and they're using it. Like, you're supposed to do that.
Jamal says this. I love the energy Jamal brings to this chat now. He says, City ain't a big club. That's facts. You Yanks know nothing. First of all, hilarious. Yank is all American.
Okay.
It don't even matter what you look like.
I'm Asian.
Yeah. He's Haitian. I'm born and raised in Newark, which is barely America. I mean, but here's the thing. You got to consider them a big club because they are they sell more shirts than anyone else.
Yes.
The problem is...
And they win. They win.
Look, do you have to win Champions League to be considered a big club? Is that...
No, they win.
Jamal says, what are you talking about, revolutionize the sport? What the fuck are you on about? Nah, trust me, man, you are chatting shit. Say something, though. Tell me why what I'm saying is wrong. Name another club that's went out and developed clubs across the world, created a network of scouting, this is all pro player shit that I'm talking about. This is good for the player. If all you want is a team to go out and buy the best available players every year so that you can win a trophy, so that you can talk shit to your homies, and so that you can have bragging rights at the pub or at the corner or at the cage, the five-a-side. If that's all you want, if that's all you think a club is supposed to do, then go for it. But if we're going to look at football as a worldwide sport, not just on your little ass island, you're going to look at it as a worldwide sport, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to go out and develop players from every corner of this world. You're supposed to go out and find players that other people are overlooking, players that aren't playing in your pub leagues. You're supposed to go develop players in great clubs in other nations that could use that development money, could use a leg up in the national team, could use all these things. They're actually going out and doing that.
Talk your shit, Alexa.
Bro, you may not like where that check is coming from, but that check clears and it don't bounce. I could use a little more than that in my pocket.
Come on, bro.
At the end of the day, we got to look back and say, like, yo, what they've done is on some FIFA shit. They've done some football manager shit. But that is revolutionizing the way the sport is managed. Maybe not how it's played on the pitch, but that's how the sport is managed.
Listen, whether you like it or not, they're winning on the pitch. They're winning in the business side. Like, they're a big club. What do you want? If you don't think they are, then as you said, like, give us what's the criteria.
This is what I'm talking about.
That they're not doing that's supposed to make them a big club. Like they're filling all the spots.
This is lit. What do you? Okay, if you're in the chat and you don't think Manchester City is a big club, what do you think they need to do to be considered a big club?
Specifically, Man City. What are they?
Give me details. What do you think? They got to win the league 4 out of 5 years? Because I think that kind of happened. You know what I mean?
They got to win the Champions League then?
They got to win Champions League.
After they win that, what are you going to say?
Multiple times? What do they have to do? What are you going to tell me they got to do? They got to go back and have signed Rooney and Ronaldo in order to be considered a big club? That's it?
Come on.
What do they got to do?
Huge club, bro.
Because I don't care how much money you got. If you ain't using it right, what you going to do? Go out and buy 10 Mazdas or 1 Ferrari? What you going to do?
I think Erling Haaland at this stage in his career is going to go to a small club.
On a discount.
No.
On a discount.
Yes. Yeah.
That man is worth 150 mil. Easy.
Cheap.
Red Bull walks so Man City can run. Red Bull got just as much money as Man City. We ain't seen them do shit.
Yeah, facts.
And they started this whole thing and they ain't done shit with it. What more do you need to see in order for y'all to consider them a big club?
Y'all just be saying shit just because you don't like a club, bro. You got to give them their props. Like I said, I don't like Real. I'm giving their props, bro. Respect to the club. Like they are what they are, regardless whether you like them or not.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Jamal says, y'all chatting some BS. What has them owning different teams revolutionized the sport? Calm down and think about what you just said. You might be hungry, bro. First of all, I'm always hungry. Let's start there. All I've had today so far is this cold brew. So, Jamal, maybe you're talking some facts here. Second of all, what about what I said means they haven't revolutionized the sport? There's only 2 clubs that I know of, Red Bull as a system and City Football Group as a system, that are owning multiple clubs around the world that are developing players, channeling it up. To me, that is the next step in this sport. That's what Manchester United should be doing. That's what Liverpool should be doing. That's what Arsenal should be doing. Arsenal should have a club in MLS. Arsenal should have a club in the Indian Premier League.
The Newcastle owners, that's a different group, right? Because they have a shit ton of money too.
You know they're gonna do that.
That might just be the next step for them.
And
exactly. If that's where the game is headed.
100%. And in fact, if you're not the one doing that, you've fallen apart. You've fallen back. You're no longer one of the big clubs in my eyes if you're not going to be doing that in the next 10 years. Because here's the thing. As a club, what are you just going to continue to sign more sponsors so you can sign bigger and better players every year over and over and over again, as opposed to being able to develop and sell them across the board, across all these channels of clubs? Yeah. That right there is the next step in the business of football. And if you don't see that,
you know what?
Then you old school.
That's where the delusion is. I think there's a lot of people who they refuse to accept it, that this is a business. It's always been a business, but now more than ever, it's really a business.
And here's where I'll give the English credit.
Yeah.
We as Americans, all of our sports are businesses. We don't have supporters, we have customers here, okay? Yeah. So maybe we are a bit more prepared for this conversation.
Yeah.
But what you just said is 1,000% facts.
It's a business, bro.
And in fact, you got to be good at business to stay on top. Because look at clubs that have slipped and fallen. Look at what Leeds did for 16 years. They went out and spent all this money on all these players. Shit didn't work out. Next thing you know, they can't even do anything. They stuck in the lower leagues for 16 years. There's a chance that the business decisions you make, not a chance, there's a very high correlation of the business decisions you make have a direct impact on what happens on that pitch. You can't just go out and spend billies if you ain't got it. Facts. Now, what happens if you set yourself up? If you set yourself with a foundation? It's like when you go invest in stocks and you're like, yo, I think I want to do crypto because that shit could go crazy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Your stockbroker is going to say like, all right, but why don't you set a foundation of investment on shit that ain't going to go anywhere?
Yeah.
And then all your extra money, you throw in crypto. And if it works out, boom, now you got extra money. And if it don't, none's going to happen to you because you got that stable, you got that foundation.
Yeah.
That's what they went out and did. Shouts to Julio Nunez with the super chat. He says, history matters. City has a small era. Right now, we're in the beginning of it, but let me finish reading what you said. United, Liverpool, Real, Barca have won throughout history. That's what makes you big. Success came after oil money. I don't care where the money came from. You don't know where the money for Real came from. Yeah. You don't know where the money for United came from. You just happen to know where this dude's money came from. So that, look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong. But I never G-checked any of those other owners. I don't know where Kroenke's real money came from. I don't know where Usmanov's real money came from. I don't know where any of these people's real money came from. All I know is we know where City's money came from. But what you doing with that money? What are you actually? Are they buying Chris Wood for $30 million? No, they went out and actually bought real players.
To win, bro. It's you can have a lot of money and do bad business.
Thank you.
Like they have the money and they're doing good business, on and off the pitch.
They went out and hired real football people to make real football decisions. And then maybe we're at the cusp of them being considered a big club. Maybe 10 years from now, they have 10 more years, another decade of sustained success, and then you have to consider them a big club. So maybe you guys aren't wrong that they're not a big club, but you better put that word yet in there.
Yeah.
You 100% better put that word yet in there.
I don't even give them that, because what's wrong with y'all, bro? They're a big club. Managed by Pep Guardiola.
Neither one of us are fans of this team.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you be real. Be real with yourselves, yo. Come on. You don't like them. You don't like the oil money. That's cool. You don't have to. But don't call them a small club. If they're not a big club, maybe it's the wording. Then you're going to call Man City a small club. They beat your favorite club.
You know what? That's a wonderful question. If they're not big, then what
small.
Are they?
They're medium.
Because you can't say they small. What's big? Double XL? That's it? You think they're extra large, medium, small? You tell me where Manchester City sits. Because I got to be honest with you, training grounds in 9 different countries, 11 different countries, something like that. They've got champions in 4 continents. That's not enough for you to sit back and say this whole organization has developed something we haven't seen in football before. May be the future. That's not enough.
Bro, their criteria, you guys' criteria is they're a big club when we feel like they're a big club.
Jamal keeps going. I have so much respect for Jamal, though. I got to be honest with you. There's not any. I wish I was at a bar having this argument with Jamal. Jamal says, that has nothing to do with anything you are saying. Some BS owning different teams isn't the institution. It is based on the owners. The Kroenkes have money, have many franchises. You lot are just talking. To be honest,
Jamal. So what is it?
So then what is it?
What is it?
So then you tell me.
What makes them a big club then? What is it? So what's the criteria?
So then the only big clubs are Barca, Real, United, Liverpool, maybe because they've won. Didn't Aston Villa win a European championship? Are they considered a big club or no? Because it wasn't sustained success for the past 100 years.
What's the criteria?
It's first of all, Christian hates having this argument because he thinks the idea of a big club is a stupid argument. I think that's just because he's an Everton fan and he never gets asked to be in this argument. But I get the point of it's arbitrary to some degree, right? Yeah. It's really about what you consider a big club. What does the term big mean to you? The term big means to me sustained success, and if you look back at the past decade, regardless of where the money came from, it's being used in the right way. They have sustained success. They certainly are a club that big players want to go to, and it's not just for the paycheck anymore. You are going to get that bag as well.
That's a fact.
But when they first started with the money, Robinho thought he was signing with Manchester United. He didn't even know there was another club in Manchester.
Yeah.
So when he held up the shirt, he was like, what the hell's going on? Why isn't this red? That's a true story. We're way beyond that now.
I heard that.
Isn't that crazy? He's like, what the fuck is going on right now?
He didn't even know there was another club
Bro,
in
he
Manchester.
thought he was going to United.
That's nuts.
I had no clue. But look how far we are from that now.
Yeah, come on, bro.
In so long, they've won consistently. They've put themselves in position to win Champions League multiple times.
People
they certainly
go there.
haven't. And big players want to go there. And it's not like China where it was just for the bag. They want to go there because they think they can push them over that hump. And like you said, we haven't even brought up Pep Guardiola. Quite possibly the greatest manager of all time.
Come on, bro.
Quite possibly.
You think he's gonna win the treble with Barcelona,
bro,
go and manage Bayern Munich, and then go to a small club?
He ain't at Scunthorpe.
Come on, bro. It's not happening.
He ain't at friggin' Brighton. Man's only going from big club to big club to big club, and he went to City. What does that mean?
It's a big club.
What's that say to you? At some point, y'all got to start looking at the facts in front of you. And for those of you saying the business side of it isn't, how can a big club not own 19 other clubs, bruh? How can a small club? You don't see West Ham owning 19 clubs. I keep adding clubs. I'm like, you don't see Arsenal owning 45 clubs. I'm just adding shit now. You don't see Boca Juniors owning 600 clubs. You don't see any of these things.
Be careful with the Boca stuff.
Them fans are crazy.
Are aggressive.
If I see a motherfucker walking around a Boca bucket hat, I cross the street.